A warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Washington. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the conferment of excellent service as well as the National Honours Award of officers of the Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic on the Executive Vice Chairman of NASEMI, Professor Muhammad Sani Haruna. This is an appreciation of his exemplary leadership and tireless efforts at making NASEMI one of the important legacies the administration is bequeathing for sustainable future of the country. The president gave the directive while inaugurating the Technology and Innovation Complex named after him at the headquarters of the agency. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the details.
It was a joyous moment of remarkable significance at the headquarters of NASEMI as President Muhammadu Buhari came calling, the first by any Nigerian leader since the establishment of the agency over 3 decades ago. He is here to inaugurate the Muhammadu Buhari Technology and Innovation Complex that is critical to Nigeria's industrial and technological advancement. It consists of, amongst others, virtual reality, manufacturing, high-powered computing, and fourth industrial revolution laboratories, which the president says now guaranteed a more promising future for Nigeria's competitiveness amongst global economies.
Our deliberate repositioning of NASEMI to be at par with other similar agencies of government across the world and optimal performance, we are convinced that the future maintenance and sustainability of our key national infrastructure are assured. NASEMI is undoubtedly among the most important legacy of our administration is bequeathing to next government in 2023.
Apart from inventing useful and historic intelligence and defense-related equipment and devices, NASEMI is currently implementing, amongst others,
Sorry about that. Now, Senate has passed the National Social Investment Program Establishment Bill for second reading. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the bill also seeks to establish the National Social Investment Program Agency.
The National Social Investment Program, initiated in 2015 by President Muhammadu Buhari, has been Nigeria's fulcrum for poverty alleviation in the last 7 years. In order to ensure the sustainability of the program and give it legal backing, President Muhammadu Buhari sent in a bill to the Senate for consideration. Less than 2 weeks, the proposed law has passed second reading.
1 million youths have been empowered through the Empower program, and the additional 500,000 are undergoing various training.
By people could be monitored, and whatever was given to them would also be monitored.
This particular bill attempts to cushion what people are going through, and I do want to support this bill.
Now, we are pleased that it has come as an executive bill for us to establish a system, through which, a proper implementation, can take place.
I believe that this is an effort by the administration to ensure that there is a legacy for this program, and also a legacy that can make the program more transparent.
Senators observed that the absence of an institutionalized process is a challenge for the program at the moment. Also passed for second reading are the Produce Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Gobil, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act Amendment Bill, sponsored by Senator Yahya Abdullahi.
A bill for an act to amend the Federal Inland Revenue Act 2007 to provide for single agency administration of corporate tax holidays, import duty waivers, and investment incentives, and for other matters connected there to 2022 second reading taken.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has written to Senate seeking the confirmation of Aisha Ahmad and Edward Adamu as deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria for a second and final term, and Ayuba Mbako as member representing FCT at the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
Federal Capital Territory Administration FCT 2023 statutory budget proposal is hereby sent to us by Mr. President.
From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to continue the East-West Coastal Rail Line project as approved by the Federal Executive Council in 2021. The contract for the project was awarded at the cost of $11.1 billion. In a motion, a House member, Dozie Nwankwo, said the project was stopped by the Federal Ministry of Transportation in 2022 despite financial commitments by implementing partners. The lawmakers noted the socio-economic importance of the project, which when completed will link several states and cities in the southern part of the country by rail. Nigeria is keying into the United Nations Agricultural Development Program tagged Hand in Hand Initiative. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that in line with this, an interministerial committee made up of representatives of the Ministries of Agriculture, Water Resources, Environment and Humanitarian and Social Development has been inaugurated. The Center for
Transformation and Sustainable Development. This is the FAO country representative briefing the members of the Interministerial Committee on the implementation of the program in Nigeria.
In other words, that we have two tracks. One that would look at the developmental economic aspects, in which case interventions and investments and policies that support value chain development, that would support agro-processing in particular regions where there is high potential for those. And then the second track would look at the humanitarian, social development issues that are key in different contexts.
The four key ministries believe that Nigeria is accepting the program with a view to supporting agricultural transformation and rural development while building the resilience of vulnerable population.
The NSC will provide overall political leadership, strategic direction and guidance for the implementation of an initiative in Nigeria in line with the national priorities.
By ministry's desire and commitment to continue to provide a conducive atmosphere for the hand-in-hand initiative, and will be fully committed to this membership of the National Steering Committee on the implementation of the hand-in-hand initiative in Nigeria.
We must find a way to expand more land for irrigation without investing too much capital, and that's why using groundwater and taking along with micro irrigation is something that we must do. We give you assurances and to Mr. President that we are in sync with this initiative and hope that we achieve results as quickly as possible.
To this end, government at both the national and state level will work with the UN agency for the successful implementation of the program in Nigeria. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Center for Strategic Research and Studies of the National Defense College is upscaling the capacity of officers to further align with the global concept on defense. This is a focus of our sensitization program on security management for middle cadre officers in the armed forces and other strategic security agencies, organized by the Center for Strategic Research and Studies to develop skills and strategies of combating evolving security threats. Security experts advocate government approach and implementation of the national security strategy in the ongoing drive to secure the country.
Security is planned for because we want people not to feel threatened, not to be fearful, not to be in want. So when you look at even our constitution, that is a key objective of our constitution. One of the major criticisms and comments we hear in Nigeria is that when government comes up with policies, they are put on the shelves, nobody knows about them. But when we bring together security stakeholders in an environment like this, we dissect the strategy, the national security strategy. We also open up the national defense policy and other frameworks that have to deal, with our security situation. like the Constitution and the different doctrines that we have, so that the practitioners will actually get to understand what is in them and have a shared understanding.
The Center for Strategic Research and Studies, established in 1996 to engage in research and training the areas of international security, defense and peace support operations, also serves as ECOWAS Center of Excellence for Strategic Level Training. The Nigerian Navy says it is not indicting the NNPC Limited in any way and has been working with the national oil giant to curb the menace of crude oil thefts. According to a statement by the Director of Information of the Nigerian Navy, the mutual working relationship between the company and the Navy gave birth to Operation Dakota Dabarawu, launched in Ono River State as a mutual effort and synergy between the Navy and NNPC to tackle issues of crude oil thefts, rampant illegal artisans, refineries, and illegal oil bunkering, amongst other criminalities in the creeks. The statement says a national daily had misquoted the Navy's response to interrogation on the Navy's efforts by the Senate, with the publication captioned, "NNPC not sincere about oil thefts, exaggerating figures." The statement insists the purported statement at the interactive hearing before the Senate Committee on Economic and Financial Crimes was not the true representation of the issues as published. Now, motorists and other users of petrol in Benue State have continued to decry the increasing hike in the price of the product due to its negative effects on other aspects of life. Sandra Akene examines the effects of scarcity on consumables.
In Makurdi, the Benue State capital, a visit to some markets and supermarkets to sample prices of items shows that the scarcity of petrol has drastically affected prices of goods and services.
Every day they add money. Even if we say this oil 900, nobody will stand by it. There is no way we cannot increase our own prices because of cost of transporting from the source down to our shop. Until this one you go that you cannot even get to buy at all, even with your own money.
The situation at these petrol stations indicates that only a few of them have the product, with many of them selling above the approved pump price of 179 naira per litre. Among disclosed source from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says, as part of their duty to monitor what comes into the state, most marketers could not purchase the product at the depot due to the high costs. The source notes that until issues surrounding subsidy removal are tackled, Nigerians may have to contend with the prevailing situation of petrol scarcity and its effects on consumables. In Makurdi, Sandra Akeme, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's join Adiola in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Adiola.
Thank you, Ifoma. Nigeria is still regarded as the e-waste capital of Africa, with Lagos at the center of it all. As part of ongoing efforts to address the trend, federal government is adopting strategies that will ensure all sectors of the economy fall in line with the relevant national environmental regulations on proper disposal and management of e-waste. Jennifer Igwe reports.
Technological development is birthing new innovation rapidly, resulting in more generation of electrical and electronic devices, including used batteries.
Approximately 110,000 tons of used lead-acid batteries are generated in Nigeria annually from the automotive and renewable energy sectors.
To ensure proper disposal, recycling and environmentally sound management of e-waste in Nigeria, federal government is adopting the Extended Producers Responsibility Program and Circular Economy. To ensure all sectors are involved, sensitization and interactive meetings are ongoing.
So in line with the provisions of the National Environmental Regulations, all existing facilities are mandated to conduct environmental audit every 3 years, either the industries, production industries, and the banking sectors.
Over 25 e-waste collection centers exist in Lagos under the Extended Producers Responsibility Program. The state is the pilot for the initiative, which is expected to be replicated in all parts of the country. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
The recent approval of 14-day paternity leave by the federal government has generated reactions among Nigerians, with a greater percentage applauding the government for adopting family-friendly policies. Amaka Owo reports.
One of the major challenges facing modern-day family is the issue of work-life balance, especially for those who are not self-employed. Women are often known to struggle between family and career demands, especially during childbearing and upbringing of their children. The recent inclusion of paternity leave of 14 days for male civil servants whose spouses give birth, which should not be more than once in 2 years, many believe will provide more support for nursing mothers.
It enables the man to fill in the gap when the woman is, unable to do the domestic activities in the house by virtue of her just putting to bed.
When a woman puts to bed, the husband should be available.
This sleepless night with the babies is not always easy. So when the men are there, you know that it's the both of us that brought this baby to the world. Thank you, government.
The woman needs the company of the man most at that time.
Despite the positive perspectives, some have contrary views.
From the African tradition, that's why we have what they call umugo, if I'm correct, where your mother-in-law or your whoever come around to support the woman that just put to bed. So what would be the function of the man? Waking up, sleeping, and the rest. I don't know, but I mean, the government, so they have the right to take that decision. But for me, I don't see the essence.
What about those who practice polygamy?
Some are having 6 wives. They're having their leave every two months. It's very possible. So you don't need. It's only for one man, with one wife.
The paternity leave is in line with provisions of Public Service Rules 2021 edition and took effect from 25th November 2022. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Do not forget that you can still follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for update. It's time for us to go on a break, and when we return, Ifoma will take over again from Abuja. To stay.
It's life. Once you lose hope, you lose life. Once people get lifted to a certain level, they start feeling godlike. What would you attribute this backwardness in education to in the up to date? What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And program is its lectures.
Into a tangible instrument for national development. That is the scale, and it is
You're welcome back. We now now go back to our earlier story where we told you that President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the Nasemi Innovation Complex named after him. State House correspondent Ramusambo is our guide.
It was a joyous moment of remarkable significance at the headquarters of Naseni as President Muhammadu Buhari came calling, the first by any Nigerian leader since the establishment of the agency over 3 decades ago. He is here to inaugurate the Muhammadu Buhari Technology and Innovation Complex that is critical to Nigeria's industrial and technological advancement. It consists of, amongst others, virtual reality, manufacturing, high-powered computing, and fourth industrial revolution laboratories, which the president says now guaranteed a more promising future for Nigeria's competitiveness amongst global economies.
Our deliberate repositioning of Naseni to be at par with other similar agencies of government across the world and optimal performance, we are convinced that the future maintenance and sustainability of our key national infrastructure are assured. New Naseni is undoubtedly among the most important legacy of our administration, is bequeathing to next government in 2023.
Apart from inventing useful and historic intelligence and defense-related equipment and devices, Naseni is currently implementing, amongst others, smart irrigation projects for multi-crop season farming, the National Tractor Recovery and Rehabilitation Project, the assembly of 2 helicopters towards first made in Nigeria helicopter, and the development of solar cells for 100% solar module production, thereby contributing to Nigerian transition to a manufacturing economy.
Let me emphasize that Naseni, under my watch as chairman, has done well. We are sure that these advanced science and engineering core facilities will assist our nation in the attainment of African Union's Agenda 2063 and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030.
Mr. President, this has shown that you are very interested in how we can move our country from being a consumption country to a production country, and I pray that the foundation that has been laid will go a long way in shaping the economy of this great nation.
The Executive Vice Chairman of Naseni, Professor Muhammad Sani Haruna, sincerely appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for his courage and political will in approving all that Naseni asks for, saying the agency is not only indebted to him and Nigeria, but resolutely committed to exceeding all expectations by contributing towards overcoming Nigeria's development challenges for sustainable future.
Your Excellency, Naseni is ready and God willing, we will soon provide innovative technology solutions for stopping crude oil theft and bunkering, vandalization of power line and pipelines, as well as surveillance and monitoring devices for our rails, roads, and seas.
President Buhari later undertook a guided tour of exhibition stand where various innovative products were on display. Established in 1992, Naseni has a vision to create an enabling, knowledge-driven environment for local mass production of standard parts, goods and services required for Nigeria's technological advancement. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
More than 4,700 graduates from the Nigerian Law School have been called to the body of benchers for 2022. Chairman of the body of benchers, Wale Olamipekun, who admitted them into the bar, declared them as now barristers and solicitors of the Supreme Court. Director General, Nigerian Law School, said 4,711 made it out of 5,802 who sat for the prescribed legal examinations. Now, governorship candidates in Kaduna State have agreed to avoid acrimony, indecent language and thuggery during campaign rather to promote peace and mutual respect among themselves. This is part of agreement reached at a meeting midwifed by Kaduna State Commissioner of Police Yekini Ayokun. Haruna Muhammad reports.
A relaxed atmosphere for governorship candidates to meet and chat way forward in ensuring sustainable peace during campaigns and the forthcoming general election.
We in APC have already sensitized our followers and our supporters to remain peaceful. We have always cautioned our followers not to engage in any form of violence. The success of the election would go a long way in determining the unity of the people of Kaduna State. We believe that power is from God. Whichever wins, will embrace him and congratulate him.
And inform and INEC and all witnesses and players will be very interesting.
Kaduna State Commissioner of Police Yekini Ayoku said security agencies decided to bring the key actors together to draw their attention on dangers of political violence and the need to take action.
Anybody that contravenes any section of the electoral law should be rest assured that it's going to face the consequences of his actions.
Meanwhile, Kaduna State Peace Commission also convened stakeholders meeting to address grey areas which may likely cause friction among political gladiators in the state.
We have to be very, very careful of what we say, what we write, or what we do, to trigger crisis.
I appeal to all candidates and supporters of political parties to ensure peaceful campaigns.
Kaduna State is taking more proactive steps to avoid breaching of peace during and after elections. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Continue to unite under the Tinubu-Shettima's joint presidential ticket for February 25th, 2023 presidential election. 2 more strategic committees have been inaugurated to steer different roles at the grassroots in the ongoing nationwide campaign. Abubakar Akwanga reports that the Tinubu-Shettima Grassroots Independent Campaign Council is spearheading the initiative ahead of Victory Camp 2023.
Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN, represented by his Vice Chairman and Minister of Environment Mohammed Hassan Abdullahi and Senator Folashade Grace Bent, are now to steer the ships of the contacts and mobilization and that of operation and organizing committees. Less talks and more actions. These are what should be seen prominent on the political landscape in the coming days. The leadership of the committees assured.
We have to evolve strategies to look at people and organizations that can add value to the success of the Ashiwaju and Shettima team.
These are the candidates that Nigerians must, as a matter of conscious deliberation, use their PVC to vote for.
That shows the commitment and that shows the love we all have for our party, and to ensure that we support our presidential candidate come February 2023.
The composition of the committees are top politicians who believe that effective synergy will simplify the job of APC, retaining power beyond 2023. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Away from politics, the federal government's anti-graft war is receiving support of civil society organizations and other development partners with advocacy to promote accountability, transparency and integrity in public service. The campaign, which identifies civil and public servants who distinguish themselves in their workplaces, is to support anti-graft agencies and expose corrupt practices. 5 public servants from across the country made it to the Hall of Fame as integrity icons. Federal Road Safety Corps is supporting the campaign to also instill discipline among road users.
Work, no matter where you pay, there should be integrity at every level. You don't need to be in government to exhibit integrity. Transparency, accountability, and excellence having been removed by every public office holder ensure that Nigeria becomes a better place for us.
These are people who have had good experience doing the right thing in the public and private sector space. Help people to understand what these people are doing in their communities, building trust, improving service delivery in their community, to ensure they are also encouraged to do more. Once we are done with this process, it doesn't stop there. It's also to bring them into the network where we support them through our Integrity Innovation Lab as a network to find solutions to key challenges around corrupt practices in their offices in the government space. So we can all deliver solutions by ourselves for a better Nigeria.
Appropriate sanctions, deployment of technology, better welfare for teachers and provision of conducive learning environment are among some measures stakeholders in the education sector envisage as antidote to examination malpractice. This was at a one-day national sensitization workshop on examination malpractice in Nigeria, organized by National Examination Council's NECO in collaboration with the National Assembly held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Saddled with the responsibility to deliver examinations whose results are trusted worldwide and faced with the negative impact of examination malpractices, the National Examination Council NECO, in collaboration with the National Assembly, put together this sensitization workshop. Minister of State for Education Goodluck Nana describes the event as apt given the negative impact of malpractices not just in the education sector but other spheres as well.
If all stakeholders take the fight seriously, I am sure that the incidence of examination malpractice will be reduced to the barest minimum, if not completely eradicated.
All the stakeholders must mandatorily come together to agree, to let go, to intervene, to criticize in any way and ensure that the right thing be done.
Is not playing on space. With the arrival of social media and platform, these many things have assumed a criminal and dangerous dimension.
It is a very, very critical component of the examination process that we need to eliminate.
Goodwill messages and paper presentations on ways of solving the problem of examination malpractice in the country also featured. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Now time to join Comfort in our Enugu Network Center for more nationwide. Over to you, Comfort.
Thanks, Lydia, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. To immortalize and propagate the leadership qualities and patriotic ideas of the Nigerian statesman, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Enugu State government has renovated the old Prima Road, the former residence of the legend, converting it into a museum for 6 personal items and center for scholarly research. The monument Nnamdi Azikiwe Center in Enugu was inaugurated by the state governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. Susan Eze has the details.
The old Premier Lodge, refurbished with most of its features retained, is now an exhibition center where 6 personal effects and works such as quotes, letters, articles and tributes would be on display. The monument, conceptualized by Governor Ugwuanyi, is to preserve the legacies of the first Nigerian president.
Big of Africa was founded for contributed hugely to Nigerian nationalism, political leadership development, and educational emancipation of our people. We were persuaded that one of the legacies of this outstanding statesman to embark on the Visit Center project.
Beyond providing materials for researchers, the center will also be involved in media productions such as documentaries and movies. For the wife of the late Zik, Professor Uche Azikiwe, the family is most grateful to Governor Ugwuanyi for fulfilling a promise he made to them in 2016.
It is a monument that recognizes the contributions made by the great Zik of Africa and other unsung heroes. It reminds us of their courage and their sacrifices and it will most definitely inspire many of the younger generation.
The project is seen by some of the speakers at the event, including Igwe Alfred Nemeka Chebe, the Obi of Onitsha, as bringing to reality the words of the national anthem, "The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain."
The real conquest is when we can deny people a sense of the history, a sense of their language. That's what the government has tried to do to Nigeria.
Dr. Nnamdi Benjamin Azikiwe was one of the Nigerian statesmen who championed the cause for Nigeria's independence in 1960. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
23 indigent students in Enugu State have benefited from a bursary award courtesy of a foundation. The benefactor and leader of Enugu State House of Assembly, Ikechukwu Ezugwu, described education as a driver of development, a reason which motivated him into such gesture. Chimaroke Ubu reports.
10 years down the line of providing educational scholarships, creating safe learning spaces, and using 21st century technology in improving the learning outcomes of beneficiaries. The founder said that the gesture was born out of the desire to help underserved children in slums and hard-to-reach communities in the state and beyond.
And then if you take stock of those that have benefited from it, you will only be humbled and challenged to do more. Seeing how somebody who ordinarily wouldn't have gone to a higher institution, being able to go graduating as a medical doctor, as an engineer, as an administrator, as a teacher.
The 10th series of the foundation saw the empowerment of 23 indigent undergraduates in different higher institutions in and out of the country, issued scholarship award up to graduation.
I submitted application and I was just living in the classroom alone, thinking about my life. When I go to talk, that I should go for interview, and the doctor now, and the
when I remember that Nigeria will be achieved with the help of the foundation. So I'm really expecting and I'm grateful to God.
In Enugu, Chimaroke Ubu, NTA News.
And thus, our contribution from Enugu nationwide continues in Abuja after this break. Do stay with us.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dssPR@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. Follow your wing and dance now. so we never lose it again. Yes, we don't rise up. We don't rise up. Africa rise up. Yes, we don't rise up. Africa rise up.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now, the Federal Ministry of Education's World Bank program on improving enrollment of girl child and adolescent is gaining grounds at its annual project implementation support mission, where the federal and state teams reports on the status of implementation in their various domains. With the World Bank in attendance, the project is believed to be providing the needed impetus for conducive learning environments.
To make sure that girls go to school, to ensure that the poorest home are being taken care of, to ensure also that youth girls also be empowered even after their secondary education. We invite the state to hear from them, to see the achievement or the progress they have made from the last mission that we did last year in December.
All the 578 junior and senior secondary schools have received school improvement grant from $8,000 in Naira equivalent up to $16,000 for some schools, and they have utilized this money optimally. This means that when you go to the schools now, you will see more enrollment and more girls coming to school to stay until closing.
The essence of this program is to have increase in enrollment and to make the girls to stay in school and to complete their secondary education. There is a tremendous improvement on that.
I think everybody will agree with me when I say Agile is becoming one of the best performing projects across all the 7 states.
The project is also coordinated by a national coordinator, Adolescent Girls Initiative for and Empowerment of the Federal Ministry of Education under supervision of the World Bank. Global market space is already going digital, and there is no way it can be fully explored without keying into the trend. This is why the NTA Marketing Directorate is engaging officers across the states for Capacity Development Conference in Abuja. Charles Alpha reports.
On any other day, these marketing officers would be out there conversing for adverts and sponsorship. But there comes a time when sales performance has to be reviewed and commendation required to encourage individuals. The world of marketing is moving thick and fast and requires the latest skills and knowledge to catch up.
With what we are going to learn here for the next 3 days, it's going to help us to improve, to make more money for NTA.
NTA Marketing Directorate cannot afford to be left behind. Have assembled marketing managers, their assistants, as well as other officers to upscale their ideas on new digital marketing skills.
This is an extension platform which gives us the opportunity to candidly assess our performance, looking at where we are coming from, where we are, and where we will want to be.
Director General of NTA, Hamid Bemba, acknowledged the importance of marketing directorate to any organization, saying more success can be achieved through synergy in the face of stiff competition.
For now, we have focused enjoying competitive advantage through monopoly. This monopoly have been broken, but I'm very, very passionate and before the management, and we truly believe that we work. All we need to do is we to do it.
The marketing directorate can now look back and boast of so many achievements it has recorded and expects to deliver more after necessary ideas have been infused in these participants. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Key players in the tourism and culture industry have identified the sector as the future of Nigeria that should be given adequate attention required for development. This was made known at the 2022 Tourism Roundtable in Abuja. Kaluoka reports.
Nigeria, no doubt, is blessed with rich, diverse tourism potential, which are yet to be exploited. For experts at the 2022 Tourism Roundtable, this rich potential, if tapped, can change the narrative of the economy just like other countries.
We must patronize our tourism facilities. But if we keep the money here and visit our tourist attractions, and when there are festivals, we go to them, we spend the money here, and it is happen and goes on, and Nigeria will be better off for it.
Tourism is the single greatest employer of labor in the world. Tourism contributes more than even oil as far as our GDP is concerned.
Speaking on the theme, leveraging on professionalism for the growth of the tourism, hospitality, and the travel industry, the chairman FCT chapter of the Institute for Tourism Professionals of Nigeria called for more training for stakeholders in the industry.
People who are practitioners, who are practicing tourism, they have the right skills, they are empowered, so they deliver to guests who come in. We want to make sure we promote domestic tourism.
The Tourism Roundtable offered opportunity for policymakers, regulators, and investors to brainstorm ways of charting the desired path for a healthy professional practice. Kaluoka, NTA News.
Nigeria, Benin and Niger republics have signed an agreement to bolster cross-border cooperation to improve security and by extension see an end to herders-farmers conflict in the West African region of the three countries. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the three tripartite cross-border cooperation was signed in Benin Kebbi.
In a tripartite meeting sometimes in September 2021 hosted by Kebbi State conceptualized the interest owing to the lingering security challenges rising from conflicts between herders and farmers across West Africa and the Sahel regions. The agreement signed now is to develop the Kado cross-border area, which focus on intervention to the grassroots actors, cognizant to pastoralism as the main source of livelihood of the large population in West Africa and contribute greatly to the economy of the region. While signing the MOU, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State and his counterparts, the Prefect of Alibori Department in Benin Republic and the Governor of Doso in Niger Republic, stated commitment to sustain the success of the bond.
We have provided training to pastoralists on modernization, particularly women in the state on dairy value addition, homemade yogurt, as well as provision of materials to support them. We provided more schools to the nomadic population.
We look forward to the inputs of the excellencies and the validation of the document, which will pave ways for further concrete actions.
We agree that we will design, develop, and enable the validation of an holistic investment plan at the three cross-border areas.
The agreement is expected to serve as a ladder to attain the development of pastoralism and livestock management, at the same time address herders-farmers conflicts. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has cautioned Nigerians and airline operators on the possibility of some northern cities in the country experiencing dust haze, which can affect horizontal visibility adversely. In a statement, NIMET predicts that dusty strong winds moving at 800 meters are expected to hit the country this Tuesday. The agency further disclosed that the weather condition is expected to persist for the next 3 days. In view of this, the agency advised members of the public, especially air travelers, to take necessary precautions due to dust particles presently in suspension over the atmosphere. And next is sports.
With 4 days to the closing of the 21st National Sports Festival, wrestling, which has over 90 medals to be competed for, has begun. Freestyle for men and women, as well as Greco-Roman for men, will produce the medals for participants.
Some young wrestlers that are also here with me that want to compete, and I pray that they wrestle very well for me to see.
Gymnastics has also started for men and women as athletes put in performances with a view to outwitting each other, all in a bid to be among medalists at the end of the competition.
In gymnastics, we have artistic, we have aerobics, we have power tumbling. For men, we have 8 golds for artistic. Female, we have 6. That make it 14 gold.
We're looking at getting more younger athletes to represent Nigeria in future, and indeed we saw a twist of that compared to some other festivals that where you get some professionals coming to do this, but now we have our own, and then we have the younger ones coming up. So I think it's a good one.
And finally, to outdoor sports, where Team Delta is on course for podium finish in hockey, with the male team advancing to the semi-final after beating Katsina 2-0 Tuesday afternoon. Team Lagos also defeated Bayelsa 1-0 and Kaduna outclassed Nasarawa 5-0 to book tickets in the semi-final. The tournament level, we have very young players, as you can see. These players will come up from the lower cadre and excel to the higher cadre. Likewise, as it is now, it is expected that this facility will be used for cogent grassroots development. Fisher Sports directed all secretaries to get talent from this championship, from this sports festival. So all secretaries of various federations are on ground to get 1 or 2 names from all the sports. But I'm sure All African Youth is coming up next year in Accra, Ghana. So it's a good thing that the ministry has directed secretaries to get players from different sports. Yeah. Some athletic events are expected to be completed later today following the emergence of new stars in the space. With sports update, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
And that's nationwide for today. We thank you indeed for being part of our production. Remember, you can be a star, connect with the NTA, stand against rape and rapists. Bye.